So, Monday, 9 a.m. We'll start with flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So, yeah, that's a good title for the brainstorming. So, not really coming up with any solutions, just coming up with thoughts, ideas, and trying to narrow them down.
Okay. So, good morning. Happy Monday, everybody.
Are you back to the land of the living?
I am, yes, I'll say yes. I'm definitely better than I was this weekend. I've sent this to you before, but I'm going to hand these out again just as a reminder of some of the categories that we'll talk about. And is it okay if I shut this, Ashley? Yeah. Okay. All right. So generally when we do this kind of a session, we would start by kind of laying out some expectations and some, you all set the rules to govern your session. So the idea of this first session is not to get too far into the weeds or the details, but just to throw out ideas and to do it kind of quickly, and nothing gets thrown out. We just put everything on the paper. And then later in the process is when we can narrow things down and look at, maybe refining. And so is everybody okay with that?
Worked well last time.
Right, okay. So I do have some pens and some paper if anybody wants to write things down and didn't bring stuff to write with. I did not make any sheets for you to write on. Does anybody need stuff? Mm-hmm. Okay. You good? Okay. So if we can maybe take the first few minutes and talk about what ground rules you want to see as far as your interactions. And again, I'm gonna write them down. It's not gonna be any. It should be pretty easy, hopefully. So this would be about how you want to put ideas out, but like how you interact and how your conduct will be. So like when I would do this for Sunday school or Scouts, they would set the rules for their meeting and they would say, when we're talking to each other, these are the rules. So, they would say, no name calling, stuff like that. So simple rules that you guys want to set.
No idea is a dumb idea.
Okay?
All be friends and so forth.
No idea. Okay.
Piggyback off of each other's ideas, but we don't need to go into the weeds.
I'm going to write shorter because I write big and messy. Okay. So what would be a good way to summarize that, Jonah?
Duplications of ideas.
Okay.
Categorized as one.
Okay.
Buildings and purchases, equipment.
Doing old topics.
Okay.
short-term goals, long-term goals.
Do we want to actually go to that level this time? As far as what would be short and
Oh,
what would be
yeah,
long?
yeah, we don't,
We can,
no, we don't,
Just goals in general, I would say.
okay?
we can separate it down later.
So we're talking generalities for the most part, okay? One that was discussed, we did this also in my CPM class that I'm taking, so it's not just for kids, but was to assume good intent, which mean, you know, whatever anybody says, nobody's gonna be offended, we're gonna assume that what the idea that they have is meant in a good way, even if they say it in a way that doesn't make sense to us. Do you guys like that idea of as a conduct thing?
I don't want anybody's ideas to be shot down, so yeah.
Okay. All I'm hearing from is you.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm good with it.
Okay, thank you.
depending how you say it.
Assume good intent. What else? I haven't heard from you guys.
You do,
I would
if you
say
say respect all ideas.
Okay,
If you do most of the talking, the camera will stay on you.
yeah, that's not how it's gonna, hopefully that's not how it's gonna work. If- Somebody else say something besides Jonah.
That's
We're so used to working together, we already know everybody's not gonna be.
I'm just
Bad.
wondering, and it's not that everybody doesn't know, but should we start, since we got two new commissioners, actually delineating what our responsibility is? What is our?
I think that we can do that in a later step.
Okay.
Like today, let's talk about, I would just wanna know what's on your own mind, and I think that's where you start from.
Yeah.
And then you can get into, you know, what's our responsibility, what isn't, as part of the process of
Right.
evaluating ideas. But that's my opinion, I mean,
Yeah, because sometime our responsibility is, we have a generality, we think this is what our responsibility, and where our actual responsibility is actually somewhere over here.
right, it's easy to do that. Yes,
Give me a thumbs up.
okay.
How I call it.
Are we comfortable with putting on here as a guideline that everyone participates and shares? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. I'm not kidding.
If you hear somebody say no, I'm taking them all as yeses.
Okay, all right, sounds good. Is there a certain amount of time you want for before we have a break or anything like that? Or just when somebody needs?
I brought cookies.
That's great.
Somebody needs a cookie.
I did make coffee in my office, but I had like 2 meetings and 2 phone calls all going on at the same time this morning, first thing. So if anybody wants coffee or water, there's some.
Jonah's gonna share one of his monsters.
Yeah.
All right, what else? Anybody have anything else that we need to add? Dave, you have something on your mind?
No.
Okay.
I do go right now.
Can all of our ideas be rate neutral?
No. If they are, then we probably won't get very far.
I'll add one more.
Yeah.
We'll keep it to the commission,
Okay,
and if there is any staff, they would be allowed to chime in if they raise their hand or something, so.
okay.
But input from the staff.
If they've got something, I mean, If they're online, they can do the hand raise or they can. Or if they're in the room.
Okay. So I also have a whole big list of things, but I did not bring that to you today because I wanna, and I don't know how you wanna receive that or when, so. Okay. Does anybody need a cookie yet? All right. Do we want to do any kind of a background or anything things that we are currently working towards or that have already been decided on? Or do you just want to jump into some of these strategies?
What does everybody feel like? You wanna jump in?
I just jump into it.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, so we can either do it where give you time and you can write down ideas for a period of time, or you can just rapid fire and I think it actually would probably work better if you have time to just write the things down first, and then we'll have time to put them on the board, and then if there's a repeat, we're not putting it up there, and it gives you time to think about what you wanna say. Is that okay with everyone?
Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, if you can think about what Marion County does well. And I'm gonna give you about 3 minutes.
I got a timer.
Oh, good. Write down as many as you can think of.
Oh, man. Now the pressure's on.
Clark has already got his all written out, I bet you.
No, not really.
Oh.
I can't do anything. We're doing well right now, so.
Oh, well, that's I think there's a requirement, everyone has to at least put one down. How much time is left?
7, 6, 5,
Countdown.
2, 1. All right, there we go.
Okay. I'm gonna start on that end.
The first thing I wrote down was there's a lot of programs within our county that helps our seniors.
Okay,
I think it's been good and I think they've been addressed fairly well.
okay, now we're gonna move off of yours and go to someone else. Did you think of one?
Not yet. I'll come back and
Okay. Dave?
I think we take good care of our employees with health retention.
Say it again?
We take good care of the county employees that help with retention.
Okay,
My turn.
Yep.
I think the operations of our departments have become more efficient based on professional management.
Oh, sorry.
Move to your second one.
Number 2.
okay, Jonah, what you got?
The staff works well together as far as in the department, across departments.
That is, okay. All right, do you have anything that wasn't on the list already?
I think there's a few internships and stuff based for our youth within our county that are good.
Okay,
Even though I would like to see that expanded if there's any way possible to do more in that area.
okay. Skip you again, or you got one?
you got mine.
Oh,
I'll give you a moment if you. Come back to you?
Well, he took the one I had about
Okay.
staff working across.
Does anybody have anything that's not on the list already that you wanna, Yes,
Well,
okay,
go
Dave,
ahead, Mayor.
I think we do a good job of looking to the future about our roads, planning ahead.
okay,
Wish list.
okay,
I think we take citizens' input seriously.
okay, good. What you got?
When the budget is set, everybody is very budget conscientious. Yeah, I couldn't spell it either, don't worry.
That's not
I
what
had
you
to-
spell very often.
I had to, cross it out because I knew it was wrong, but I kept it there.
And you still said it. Okay.
I figured you spell better than me, so
Well, I don't know if I spelled it right, probably not.
that's okay.
The last thing on my list is despite the very diverse group of people living at the lake, I think the workings of our county lake through our current staff is good. I mean, yes, we're not gonna make everybody happy, but I don't think we're gonna find anybody put Isaac down, so, at
Okay.
this point.
Anybody have anything that's not on the list?
Well, I'd written down that I think the entirety of the county has become better served under 5-member board.
Okay, I'm gonna put this up here. If you think of other things, we'll add it. Cause I'm gonna put it over here, I guess, right now. Let's talk about things that you actually, maybe not that we're doing well, but positive things that you enjoy about Marion County as a county. And you don't have to write them down, just what do you like about our area?
I don't think there's very many counties in the state that have as many diverse cultures as we do. From one end of the county and another, there are all kinds of cultures.
Okay,
Centrally located.
okay,
We're halfway everywhere.
Wonder where.
Yeah.
I'll piggyback there on that. And we're rural enough, but close enough to enjoy. 30 minutes, we can have whatever else.
so rural but urban proximity, okay, what else?
Mine would be the compassion that our rural county has towards various bad things that happen within our county every day. An overwhelming of charities and whatnot that help big people. It's pretty overwhelming. Proud to be part of that, isn't it?
Okay, so compassionate and in support of people. Okay. What else?
Last might be our school system, but pretty good. Don't be proud of it. Especially with all five of them.
Yeah. Okay, all right,
Lakes, the parks, the outdoor amenities.
recreational opportunities,
No opportunity.
That one's really a no-brainer for me.
yep,
Take it for granted.
anybody have anything else to add?
The entrepreneurial spirit we have around here. There's lots of people trying to start businesses. Some things I would never think I would invest in, and they make it work.
You're giving me lots of big words, entrepreneurial spirit. Thanks, Jonah.
Abbreviate.
Yeah, you just write what you think I said.
Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and go through, what do we do today that maybe we should no longer do, okay? I'm gonna give you time to write those down. Let's do about 5 minutes unless you want longer. Okay. We can take longer, cause just let me know if it's too fast. So we'll start with 5.
What we should not,
If there's something that we're doing now that we maybe shouldn't do in the future or continue. Yeah, that's why I give you a little bit more time,
I'm trying to cheat, but I just looked over it. I have no sense of writing it down now.
If you can read my writing, you're pretty good. 'Cause I'm the only one that can read my writing.
Is that right?
You should see some of the chicken scratch I read.
First one's easy.
I'm just thinking of the same one I am.
I'm gonna go get something.
Mostly everything else I can think of is all unfunded mandates, and so we can't really not do them.
Unfunded mandates, we gotta get away from those. I told Fag last Sunday, make sure we don't have to deal with that in the next couple of years.
And the old ones?
Nope. How much time is left? 1:50. Oh, time's up. Okay. All right. What did folks have written down? We'll start at this end this time.
Mayday once per month, move it to more frequently. We can retain some of the younger generation.
Okay.
Professional management in the areas that we're inefficient at,
Okay.
i.e. the transfer station.
Okay. So we might stop, maybe want to stop operating our own, is what you mean? Okay. What have you got?
Duplication of services.
Okay.
I know we got the health department that does car seats, and we've got, so they're taxing our residents to do that, and you got K-State Extension Office taxing us to do the same thing. That's one example. Is there any way we can combine services? We got a brand new health department, we got a Department of Aging. Those two, I think, could be moved under one roof. Generate some efficiencies there. A lot of the
Okay, Mike?
It's pretty obvious, we need to, if any way possible, quit hauling rock 15 ton at a time and go to 25. Got a few calculations here that say $73,000 a year. If we do that.
Okay, so, we'll go into, what we should do, okay? So what else do we have that maybe we're doing now that maybe we should stop? Or that you guys,
Allow things to fester.
okay?
I know it's not by design or intention, but sometimes the callback doesn't happen quick enough and it allows this spiral.
Okay. Who else has one? Do you have another one?
You got one?
Mine's more of a mindset
Okay.
that this county can only operate out of Marion.
Oh, okay.
I'm good with that.
What else? You got one?
that was a good one.
Anybody else? You got any more?
That we shouldn't do, of course, this will probably get back into what we should do.
Well, just give us the part that we shouldn't, and then we can work on the part that we should.
Only restrict driver's license to appointment only.
We should not? Okay.
If at all possible, to work that out.
Okay, so does anybody have anything else before I put this up?
The more one CUPs. I'm done with them. I didn't do that.
All these words, I can't spell wind. Oh, that's okay.
Rip the Band-Aid
Oh, that's probably gonna be bad.
off.
Okay, so is it okay with you guys if I share? So I did a similar exercise with department heads. So would you like to know what department heads feel like Marion County does well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Things we do well. Community, family, feel. We work together, organized, communication, providing service, customer service. Great emergency management department, keep us aware of severe weather. Each department works well with each other, positive attitudes. Lots of excellent department heads and employees have a desire to help the public. Departments working well together. Most employees focus on positive outcomes. Collaboration with other groups, approachable staff, engagement with the community, work well together, serve the public, partnership between departments, positive outlet, goal-oriented to improve. Things that we don't do very well, according to your department heads. We don't tell our story very well, capitalized on missed opportunities, invest for return, improve return of investment, gossip and misinformation, creating problems without providing solutions. Not great about attracting younger generation. Employee retention, exit interviews, broadcasting positive things we do, silos. Sometimes departments don't know what goes on with other departments. Departments need help where some departments are having trouble hiring staff. Need to let the public know what the good things are that we do, so telling our story again. Educating the public on our work, follow through on adaptive issues, and disconnect, salary fairness, technology, in one department, particularly employee appreciation, recognition, scope of work, and learn what other departments do. So that's kind of what they had to say. Okay. So one thing that we do in our leadership program, so Mike, you've been through this before, but it's kind of helpful to think about concerns that we have about our county, our communities. It can be just about anything within that realm or that scope. So I know that we had, we put things we do well, good things we enjoy, and then things that we should stop doing. But what actual concerns do all of you have about the direction that we're going, or, some of the things that maybe worry you about our county? Does everybody understand? Okay. So can we take 5 minutes and write those down? Or do you want to do?
My first one out of the way.
Or do you want to just do?
Is that part of number C?
No, I'm doing it. We're going to expand a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, because C and D I want to come back to, but I think that if we put what our concerns are, there's some work in between there to get to those that'll help us, I think, if you're okay with it.
Yep.
If we're not okay with it, then I won't go that direction. Okay, all right. Okay.
The big one that I have is our comprehensive plan,
Okay.
done in 2018. There was not a lot of public involvement in that from what I've read from the comments, and
Okay, so we're gonna go broad. So lack of planning, lack of public input.
lack of public input.
Okay.
We need to do a better job of engaging the public. I think there is since that was done in 2018, since the previous planning session was done in 2001, I think there's been a shift in public sentiment. I think we need to open this up to the public and get public involvement in the direction the county needs to go.
Okay. Who else has a concern? Yep.
Well, I think it was even the group before us, childcare was on the list. It was on our list. I think Centers got theirs fairly completed and using it. Florence has been in business over a year. Hillsborough will come online later this year. My concern is it still affordable enough for families that have more than 2 kids in daycare? And I think if the one in Hillsborough and Center, if I'm not mistaken, will fall under taxes through the school district to sustain it. If it's still not sustainable or practical, how do we go about ensuring that can continue in the future is my concern.
Okay. Who else has one?
Mine just dovetails with that, more public-private partnerships.
So a concern would be a lack of public-private?
Lack of
Okay.
public-private partnerships.
Our ability to tell our own story.
Okay.
The road material, like our rock, I'm a believer we need to get some harder based materials out there and keep the bases up somehow.
Okay. What else? Who else has another one?
AI data centers is a concern.
Okay, can you explain?
So we had Bitcoin mining was something that was popped up. I think we've addressed that. But the new one will be the AI data centers. And these things suck power like the city of Milwaukee.
Okay. All right.
Not the same as battery storage.
No.
That's worse.
That was the mining operation, Bitcoin mining.
Our biggest challenge as our concern, as far as I'm concerned, is how do we get employees back to this part of the world that we stay here, live
Okay.
within our county.
So,
And that's private, government, education, medical, biggest issue out here.
recruiting and retaining workers count for all industries, right?
All industries are up against the same thing.
Yep.
Ag, doesn't matter, private,
Okay, what
commercial
else?
business.
Oh, to dovetail on that, I watch dozens of cars every day that come past me at 70 miles an hour on Indigo from Sedgwick County coming to Marion County to work. We need to look to make things more attractive for them to move to Marion County to work in Marion County, not to commute. Because it's a huge revenue loss to have people commuting into this county. We should have people commuting out of
Yeah, so residential,
That would be affordable housing then. right?
affordable housing.
Okay,
I mean, people aren't building here because the taxes are so high. They find it cheaper to drive here than to move here. Somehow we've gotta
and
change.
and some of it's also availability too.
Well, it's availability because nobody can afford to build.
You said affordable housing and then there was something after, high tax, I wanted to put on there. High taxes. Okay. What else?
paying attention to technological items that can help us progress. Went into a gas station the other day, the thing's fully automated.
Oh, yeah.
So what would the concern be, like a lack of
Well, just
technological
not necessarily
or
always
a
knowing what's available out there.
awareness?
Mayo Clinic, a roadblock brought me my business. After I ordered it.
At where?
Mayo Clinic, when I was getting my hip put in,
Oh,
put an order in, this little robot comes out with a tray and your food's on it. Brings it to your table, knows how to get to your table.
just like the Jetsons. Huh?
Yep.
Okay,
Pretty amazing.
what else do we have?
a lot of it's kind of just dovetails, but how do you compete with, we're close to urban areas. How do we compete against that?
Promote the lifestyle.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, but that's a concern, so I'm gonna put a competition.
subcategory.
Sorry, I didn't mean that.
Okay,
Maintenance of our equipment might be a good item to put on there. We gotta get some of this stuff under roof as far as I'm concerned. Some of these items are $500,000.
so maybe lack of storage or lack of space or space needs.
Just,
I put maintenance of equipment, but are you also then saying space needs would be a concern?
just get a roof over something to keep the sun,
Okay,
ice,
so how it,
hailstorms.
so buildings or,
Just mainly a roof, I guess, to keep under.
Buildings.
okay.
Be a shelter, however you want to put it, rods or something.
Okay,
To build on that, we need to assess our current equipment and decide what we need, what we don't need, what's the most efficient use of that equipment. Are there more efficient ways to get things done? You talk about hauling gravel 25 tons at a time instead of 15 tons at a time. Is it more efficient to contract that so we don't have the equipment maintenance and storage facilities that we need to?
I'm just looking at doing 40% more with the same time, same miles on the truck.
okay, but so a concern would be a lack of equipment planning and evaluation, okay?
The biggest concern, I think, hard to write it down because it's what we deal with all the time, is increasing costs, everything.
Right,
Insurance tops the list on a lot of things, right? About everybody in the last year.
Wages are, you get in order to be competitive and keep people, material put on the road, everything.
okay. What else? What I have so far.
That's a boatload.
Yeah, we got anything else they wanna put on here right now?
Guess the last thing I might say is our concerns that our tax base will still shrink in the future as well.
Okay,
As things get more.
what you got, Jonah? So I'm gonna put shrinking tax base or revenue source.
No, that one ties right into my last one. So
Can I
That
add,
covers a pretty broad range of stuff.
is it okay if I add
yeah, raise your
unfunded,
hand, it's part of the rule.
unfunded mandates?
Yeah.
Is that okay to add on here?
Good as any.
Sure, put it on there.
This is concerned, you know.
Yes, concerns.
I have a concern, vision for the future.
Okay.
You know, all this new technology, everybody's against everything right off the bat without researching or looking for it. I don't know how to say that, but we need to look beyond the future.
Okay, so,
Concerns closed-mindedness.
We need to look past next week.
okay,
But there is other industries and jobs and things we could promote for Marion County. We have a,
so would that be, I hear two things in what you're saying. Maybe I'm wrong, but I hear you saying that there's a need for long-term thinking and options for economic development.
yeah. We do not say no right away. Get two here this morning already.
Is it warm in here? I wonder, is that thing turned up over there, or is it down all the way?
It's right under 70, about 68.
Flip it all the way to the left, if you don't mind, all the way down? Maybe it is. And how's yours in there? Okay.
Sun's shining.
It's a nice day, so it's gonna be hot in here.
No hot air.
We can open the window if we need to. Okay. So this one, I'm gonna just give this over. Would you wanna put this one up? Please?
Behind Kent.
Uh-oh,
Handed me a piece of
it's
paper.
like a saran wrap for tape. Sorry. Okay, so the next thing is aspirations. So this is like just in a perfect world, okay? In a perfect world, if our county could look like anything you want, it could be anything at all. Money's no object, okay? In a perfect world, what would you want to see? And it can be anything. It could be their culture. It can be the what kind of infrastructure we have. It can be. So this is like if we had a utopia that's Marion County.
Host the next Olympics.
Okay. Oh, can I make it more general of hosting large events? Okay, is that all right?
World's Fair.
International, I'm gonna put international.
I mean, if you're gonna think big, that'd be.
Yeah. Okay, what else?
Concrete every road. Not even pavement, not even pavement,
Concrete roads.
concrete every road.
That's the-
What else?
Back to what we talked about once, maybe we ought to give Marion County to just split it between our adjoining counties and we do away with it. What is
Oh,
that?
what? You said if it, like, eliminate Marion County, is that what you said?
He said, he was
That's
saying,
not on the side of what we would do if they had any all the money in the world.
Right, if we have, and money's no object and our county can look however we want. Moving forward, what would we,
Improve, even though we have two hospitals in Marion County, could we have a more, I mean, you see what happens at the Mayo Clinic. If that could ever happen.
so
Our area.
more access to higher level healthcare?
Specialty services.
Okay, so I'm gonna put higher level healthcare.
Their commitment to excellence is, or if you've ever been there, is pretty astounding. That's something other.
Okay, specialty services like,
Well, healthcare would be number one. That's the big one.
okay,
I gotta keep my mind in gear.
There's the population.
I think a good way to look at this is years ago, what did we have that we don't have now? Years ago, we had a larger population. We had even the small communities to a certain amount had things going on.
so pause right there. So would we say that a growing population would be an aspiration?
It would take population to get to that.
Right, so growing and thriving communities would be something that we would want, right?
Thriving community.
That's what I'm hearing. Okay, what else you got there, Commissioner Becker?
Well, if we had that, we'd get more investment into our communities. which is badly needed in most cases, every community,
Do you-
Dying.
Do you mean financial or people, or both?
both.
Okay,
If you got more people, you're gonna get more financial.
right, but I mean, financial and personal investment into like people willing to step up and be
People
part of the
willing to-
community.
People will have that civic-minded heart again,
To volunteer.
where they just didn't think just about their own personal financial statement, but how well their community's doing, and willing to invest some of their capital into those kind of things.
Okay,
I'm actually seeing that term. We can get into that later, but I'm seeing positive things on the horizon with a new generation.
all right, who else has an aspiration of what you would want to see? So far we have the ability to host large international events, all concrete roads, higher level healthcare and excellence and specialty services, a growing population, thriving communities, more investment, both financial and personal, into our county and communities, civic-minded citizens. What else?
This is a hard one, because I mean, it's like, the whole time we're up here, we're always trying to figure out how to do more
Right.
with less, so it's hard to think about the
That's
bougie
okay.
items.
Yep.
But at the same time, we need to look at what the county used to be like. But we had a higher population, but it was still a rural population.
Right. I don't think,
And we need to be careful that what is our vision for this county? Do we want to be a Wichita? I don't think we do.
Okay, so what you're saying, an aspiration would be to remain a rural
To remain a rural,
county.
a
Right.
healthy rural county.
Okay,
And
great.
healthy rural counties have small communities that take care of themselves.
but we are kind of, at this point, still considered a bedroom community because of the number of individuals that travel outside of Marion, that live in Marion County, but travel outside for a job.
So, yeah, it's just the ideas, it's just the
So
ideas.
that's,
Right.
that goes along with economic development. and all
So,
that.
an
All-
aspiration would be a healthy rural county and more self-sufficient.
Yep.
Okay, good. What else?
Better retirement
Okay,
facilities for people,
okay.
housing and for the older generation. They bring money in town.
Okay, so better and more resources for retired people. Okay, what else?
A system for me to run my computer for me.
More amenities for young families,
Okay, such as?
just general. I think we got good schools, I mean,
Entertainment.
yeah, I mean, it depends on your flavor, really, so.
Back to the daycare would help as much as anything.
Or,
What about shopping?
yeah,
Shopping,
shopping,
entertainment,
place to eat.
need a movie theater, which Marion was gonna build for years, and never happened. That's where individuals step up.
Yeah.
That's the part where the individual investment.
That's what Hillsborough has.
Yeah.
Got people who step up.
There's certain things that I never really jumped on board with, but they turned out to prove me wrong, that hike bike trail. Just, I can't believe how many people just,
You're not a biker.
well, yeah,
So like
I run for
trails
the-
and parks and would that be included in amenities?
yeah,
Or recreation, I guess.
recreation.
And we already have a kind of a good start on some of those things. So, okay, what else would be an aspiration? Does anybody have anything that's not on the list?
It is warm in here.
can open a window. Yeah, we might do that in a moment.
I kinda like that international event deal.
So,
You know,
Yeah, when Mike set the bar that high, it's kinda hard.
well,
Right?
it's not really set that high, since
Well, it
I'm,
gives us a range, that's for sure.
since Dave and I was the oldest one here, and we both can remember when they first started the Florence Grand Prix, that was an international event. I had to race against a bunch of guys from Sweden. And, you know, that in
Right,
itself,
it's not that far out of range.
that in itself could become an international event.
I want a
What's
hockey,
now?
I want a hockey rink and I want USA
You know,
hockey.
hockey rink.
okay, do you want me to put that down?
No.
Okay.
I know of a rural county in northwest Kansas that put in a actual convention center in a town of 2,000. And it's used by even other communities and other counties hosting big events.
Well, Chase County just put in another big community building right next to their existing one.
I'm talking about a convention center where we drive the trucks right into the main arena.
I can see that. The interest is in both of them.
Yep. Okay, and then what about infrastructure? Would we want to put anything about that on here? Any kind of infrastructure aspirations?
All utilities, all infrastructure.
Okay.
Commercial airport.
International airport.
I'm good with the little
Don't have enough runway.
runways.
Well, that sounds a little bit far-fetched, but they also, in Burlington, Kansas, they have a jet runway. Jet runway. Of course, they don't look pretty good, there are a lot of people flying.
Okay.
I can't believe I helped pour some of the footings where the reactor sits and it's still standing.
Okay, so let's look at the concerns too. So the concerns were some lack of public input and engagement, lack of planning, sustainability, partnerships. So an aspiration would potentially be a well thought out planning process, a lot of people engaged, so public engagement, right? So in a perfect county, we would have that, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put public engagement.
Civic-mindedness.
I think maybe I had that on here, but public engagement in processes,
We have buildings on there already, right?
yes. What else?
We've talked about increasing revenue on there.
Mhm.
That answers that one. Competition with urban areas. Well.
We
got
didn't
that.
put anything about revenue, but if we wanted to put on here, adequate revenue would be, right?
Affordable housing, is that addressed on there?
Let's see, I thought we did. Okay. So I put affordable housing, what's the other one? We were just,
Retaining this, we
Adequate
had stuff,
oh yeah.
we had stuff on there about.
Okay. So, plenty of workers. Okay, good. Is that right? Cause there's so many that are having trouble finding people, so.
I need to look at automation. I mean, that there's a whole nother world out to automation.
Got
Move to,
So automated, more efficient processes.
to address the comprehensive plan.
Okay. So in a perfect place, we'd have great planning
There you go.
and forward thinking, right? Okay,
I think that even Florence is hosting that bike
over here.
Okay.
Okay, can you, I don't know if you can see it, you probably can. Okay, so, is everybody doing okay? Does anybody need a, 5-minute break? You good?
Yep.
Okay. So, now we're gonna talk about, if we look at our concerns of what we're concerned about, and we look at what we want to see, we're gonna talk about what gets in the way of that. So, that is the gap, okay? So, if we are looking at hosting large events or international events as an aspiration, what gets in the way of that? Why can't we do it?
professional management,
So,
your
can you
leadership.
expand on that? So you would, maybe the lack of people to make it come together is,
Leadership,
okay?
I think that goes back to, public-private partnership. Because when you hold large events, that means you gotta utilize land that is privately held. And that becomes an issue.
So lack of leadership and partnerships gets in the way. What else can get in the way of what we
it's having an
want
influence right
for
now.
our county and our people?
Finances.
Okay. Yeah, that is a big one. So lack of leadership and partnership, finances,
liability
liability,
is a big one.
liability and bureaucracy and legal
Red tape.
yeah.
Cut red tape.
Whoever put on Woodstock just knew all those people. You can do it, you just gotta know them.
What else gets in the way of some of these? What gets in the way of that idea of a healthy rural county and being self-sufficient? What gets in the way?
As much as the railroad built our country, now it's almost somewhat a detriment to, can't even take electric line across their line, a new line, or burrow under it without bureaucracy that makes it almost impossible to deal with, whether it's our electric company or private.
So difficult processes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Gary's trying to get that to his deal there north of town, the process, and running into unbelievable resistance from the railroad to allow him to get electricity to cross
Okay,
that railroad.
so that kind of goes under the red tape, legalities, difficult
Public
processes.
support.
Okay, so lack of public support or public what else? I think the feeling of the public of you know, what do you call that?
Good tendency.
Worry. Like a lack of trust. Would that be part of what you're talking about?
No.
Yeah.
Who said that?
I did, but I didn't raise my hand.
Oh, well, and this is for the commissioners, yeah, yeah.
Couldn't help it.
Been good all morning.
So you don't think that, so is that something that you see within your constituency would be that there is a mindset of mistrust of government?
Yeah, I think that goes from federal level down, but that's where it started from.
Right.
So, being able to communicate to the citizenry that, yeah, we have all of these mandates that we have to meet, but our concern is the taxpayers of Marion County. And we have to deal with that bureaucracy.
Would that also be part of an education process? So we have,
Well, that's part of the public engagement process. I mean, you've got to give them a voice and.
right,
You know,
so
you
how
know-
do you,
The only way to alleviate that mistrust is to give them a broader voice.
so in the gap between the concern and the aspiration, what gets in the way of them having a broader voice?
Information.
Transparency, I'm sorry again.
Yeah. Information and transparency.
Also a lot of jealousy. Somebody worries that somebody else is getting more than they do.
Okay, So,
Really deep-seated in Marion County.
okay,
You didn't have to allude, I knew what you're talking about.
okay.
It's terrible.
That's a good point.
I don't know if I spelled that right, that looks funny. I used to be a really good speller in elementary
lousy.
school. What?
That's how I spelled it too.
Okay. Let's ask Google pretty soon, I'm just kidding. Okay, what else? What else gets in the way of progress and of what gets in the way of civic, the lack of, or, what would get in the way of us having more civic-minded citizens or more amenities for young families? Is there anything else that you can think of? So-
Open-mindedness, but we've already got that.
I'm gonna put. So I have a question. Even, when you invite people to participate, do they always?
No.
Not if their name's gonna get in the paper.
So what do you think keeps people from wanting to participate?
They think they're busy.
Okay, so busyness.
Some people don't know what busy is.
What else would maybe keep them from participating?
Something like this would be a public speaking. Fear of
Okay, so fear.
phobias.
Okay, what else?
Family commitments.
Okay,
Like Chase County holds a evening session once a month, and it's divided between the 3 districts. So every month they host it. And it's like at 7 o'clock in the evening to give some a better opportunity to come in and.
so scheduling conflicts. Okay, what else might contribute to someone not deciding to be involved in the process?
Finances,
Okay,
it's up there.
personal finance.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else that you think gets in the way of progress?
Oh.
Past perceptions.
Yes. What else?
The way we've always done it.
Yep.
Politics.
Okay, what else?
It's in the way.
Say sometimes frustration of how government moves so slow. Complicates things.
Okay.
We want it to move.
We could have something that saves us $10,000 and we can't act on it fast enough to utilize it. It constrains what's practical, yet we can't make it happen fast.
I'm not trying to break my own rule. I started to.
Okay. It is a thing, government, and, you know, it's designed in a way to move slower and,
You can't,
remembering that it's not
you can't jump off that cliff. You
right.
don't see coming.
There are, in most cases, there are reasons behind things and people don't always know that too, so. What other things can you think of?
Brush fires. We spend too much time. You know, we need a road program that is thought out, planned out, and stick with it.
So,
That's the one issue that I see most of is somebody screams they want gravel, so we drop everything and we go put gravel on their road. If we have a well thought out plan and stick with that plan, like you said with the hard rock,
Harder materials.
we make the decision that we're gonna have a road program and your road may not get fixed right away, but when we fix it, we're gonna fix it right. And it should last 4 times as long, and we don't have to come back every year and put out the same brush fire.
Oh, yeah.
okay, so I'm hearing two things there. One is lack of planning and execution and follow through, and the second one would be reactionary thinking
Reactionary thinking,
instead of,
planned out and
Right.
thought out programs.
right.
And that probably happens in every department in the county. And
Try to keep everybody happy.
that gets back to community involvement, public engagement, and establishing a program that everybody buys into and realizes that we're not gonna be able to do everything for everybody. But we have a plan and we're gonna work through it.
Okay. Anybody else have anything to put on the gap?
Not enough cookies.
I think it probably is time for a cookie break and a restroom break.
I think the chairman just said we need a break.
Yeah.
And then we'll get into some more drill down.
Yeah. Take a break.
Okay, 10 minutes. Okay, so back at 10:30-ish.
And I had a furnace since Christmas over there,
All right, everything's on.
Dollar General,
Oh, got you. I was like, I didn't know what you said.
yeah, Dollar General.
All right.
Okay. Next.
All right, so on the strategic brainstorming worksheet that Wichita State did the last time was what are new opportunities that Marion County should explore? So this is where we start working on more specific, but yet keeping it general and kind of quick pace to be able to share your ideas. So also, we did a slightly different version of this with the departments. And what I asked them to say was, what project or idea that's floating around, that if it was implemented would make a difference in operations, or, so it could be either one of those, or we can split them out, but so, let's how do you wanna do that? Just do what are the new opportunities that we should explore?
Explore.
Okay. Is that okay? All right. So let's take,
What, we're talking about what we're willing to invest in, right?
no, we're doing C. What are new opportunities that we should explore? Or a project or ideas that if implemented can make a difference. So we're gonna kind of do that together. So that's just a way of thinking of it. And I'm gonna give you probably about 10 minutes to think of projects and ideas and opportunities that we should explore. And I'll just have you write them down.
I'm outside and my mind runs rampant, but I sit down here and all of a sudden everything is just,
Need a windshield in front of you.
I need a windshield.
It can also be specific projects. set a timer? Okay, cool.
6 minutes.
That's how much is left? Yep. Okay, great.
Live.
Does everybody need 6 minutes left?
This is your ideas.
I'm done.
Then it is, who still needs more time?
I'm good.
I'm very general, I just don't.
Okay. So if we're ready, then if you wanna, I can, unless somebody else wants to write for a while.
Not me.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's no spell check on that thing.
I know, right? I can have Cherry come in here, she is my spell check. She's really good at it. Okay. Okay, new opportunities to explore.
I was
You
trying to
wanna
read that
start?
upside
Yeah,
down.
it's messy anyway.
Like I said, all men are pretty general. Obviously, technology, training. Training,
Okay,
low budget to low maintenance items.
what does that mean?
So it's whatever we could possibly invest in it's doesn't cost a lot, but it also doesn't involve a lot of down the road having to maintain and upkeep
Okay,
and cost.
so,
Like a
make your,
building, a seed building or something.
Just things kind of, my brain goes right to I said that wasn't really my thing, but the hike bike trail it was grant funded, so it didn't really cost them a lot. Ground was allowed for them to put it on, and they did it in concrete, so they don't have to maintain it.
Too.
Just thoughts of things that are like that are what people would want.
okay,
Recruit industries,
all right, let's,
job growth.
Can I add one under recruit industries?
yeah,
I think we need to work on our public relation to the world to promote Marion County as a good place.
right,
All the negative over the last years,
okay,
I'll say that for sure, but
yep, gotcha. All right, can you put a pause on yours and let's go around so that,
I just had one more,
oh, yeah, good.
the KNRC. I think there's a resource that we're not utilizing.
that is,
Kansas,
National Resource
Natural Resource Coalition.
Okay,
Well, I go back to, opportunities with professional management in some of our areas and along with that, collaboration with neighboring counties. Based on cost, based on a utilization of cost savings, you know, like collaborating with another county locally that has an asphalt plant, that sort of thing.
share equipment.
Right over there.
all right, what have you got, Dave?
Not in my backyard, mentality. We need to, there's groups need to think of the whole county, not just their backyard to help.
Okay, so, I would think that would be
Someplace else.
an aspiration and a concern, both, like, so an opportunity, how would you make that into an opportunity?
Educate people.
Okay,
Lots of people involved.
okay, so, so opportunities to educate, the public.
The whole county's involved, just one.
And, countywide unity, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right,
And you said something about tech. I mean, I feel we need to look at, wind, battery, pipelines, and service jobs. As far as technical, all these small industries that create few jobs.
I'm putting, that as a separate, so you said wind, battery, pipelines, and, we had talked about job growth.
Yeah.
So let's expand that a little bit.
I'd like to see expanded technical training in the county,
Service tech,
i.e. VOTEC.
Okay,
Been to the board of regents a few times. Yeah. There's an opportunity, for sure.
Okay.
It's right here in Marion County. And there's a real opportunity. It's
All the superintendents in the
a
districts,
blank space.
all the superintendents in the school districts know that. I would hope that they would start collaborating together a little more.
If I could find finances, it'd be done already.
okay, what else?
That's what keeps kids in your home.
We talked about concerns of,
Sorry.
affordable housing.
Yeah.
I'd like to, can we take a look at our planning and zoning regulations and see what, if any, impediments to growth there are, both in private sector. I know we've had 2 special conditional use permits for people to build a second house on their place that needs to be a right, not a, it costs those people several $100s to get that done. So looking at planning and zoning, if there's any impediments to growth in the private sector as well as the industrial sector, with businesses coming to Marion County. Road planning, see if there's any way we can get, we talked about public involvement, let the townships give them a bigger voice at the table in deciding what roads are important in the township.
Can I piggyback on you that one?
Yeah.
Road, township road,
Township
Board.
main,
so they can,
Right.
they can have more of a, rather than having 50 people, you get the board, they build them a board and then they determine what the public is put and bring it together.
Right.
so are you,
And, yeah, I'm not saying we but
Yeah.
bring it down to the township level and let them have a voice. Maintenance training, right now I think our road graders, they get a couple days of training on how to run the cat, but they don't really get trained on how to maintain roads. I got a comment from, actually I think he's in your district, commending the road grader operator there, saying he's just doing a super job of effectively maintaining the crown in the roads. I don't think that happens across the board if we can utilize our internal, we don't have to send them out, but find the best that we have in this county and utilize them to train everybody so that everybody gets up to a,
Back in the day when we had township maintenance, the operators weren't just considered maintainers. They were also considered road builders.
right.
So those guys actually knew how to build and maintain a road. And I think we've got beyond that a little bit and put all that emphasis just on the supervision, telling them what, and that goes, a lot of that goes back to training too.
And that's what I'm saying, can we step up that training so that we develop a competent, not downplaying any, but if we can bring them all up to
A standard.
a standard. And then, like you said, with the hauling the rock, let's, in that road planning, let's identify how we can do it most efficiently.
Did I put that down?
I'd like to see the training become mandatory. There's lots of opportunities for training, and we have not ever made that training mandatory in Marion County. I used to serve on a board out of Strong City, that a grant funding mechanism. I don't know how many, it's been a long time ago, but we received funding for the 3 Marion, Chase, Morris County. It was all for maintainer training, which was done on Saturdays. We offered it to our employees and with some type of incentive. You remember that?
So,
I can remember it was some kind of incentive, but it was done on Saturday. It was like 6 Saturdays,
Road
like
scholars.
every other Saturday for 6 Saturdays.
It's a commitment.
okay, so I've got,
Morris and Chase got all the money.
So, next item.
And then, last but not least is departmental planning. Have each department look at their current staffing. And with an open mind, looking at what functions they're doing, what functions they need to do, and how to best utilize their staff. Rather than, well, we've always had this position, let's take a hard look at what each department does and their staffing, current staffing levels, and how we can most efficiently utilize that staff. And if there's functions that we can consolidate, functions that we can eliminate, to make each department as effective and efficient as it can be.
I know there's some of it that's done, piggybacking on that is, some of it's done, but there's some cross-training that does happen, but I mean, if there's more potential for that cross-training, that would be.
We would need to change the duties of this certain position within any department, maybe what you're talking about.
Certain departments work easier with other departments, I mean, they're more aligned, so they can cross-train.
so you're talking about not just cross-training within a single department, but multi-department cross-training? Okay,
It helps educate them on what the other department does too, so they're not just saying that they're being difficult. They feel the pain and take it back to their department.
did you have some?
The only thing I'd come up with was how do we explore recruiting tools with incentives, sign-on bonus, something similar to help with our employment issues. That's just how broad that could be, or how do we
I find it a
get
lot.
more influence in that to try to recruit our employment throughout a county, not just even our own county staff.
Okay,
Like broad at this point in the game. It's a bucket.
We were on that economic development committee for about a year before it disbanded, and one was, I don't know what it would take to, we had a county website that listed every job that somebody wanted to put on there and have at least 2 job fairs a year. Even if we just get one employee or somebody to move here, it is worth that time, in my opinion. But again, it'd be fairly taxing to a point on somebody within our staff to update that once a month.
Well, you would probably have to expand staffing to be able to manage something like that, but
But that was something we had discussed heavily at that time. We disbanded economic development. It's just about been dropped completely as far as I'm concerned.
you said, like job opportunities, what was the other thing? On the website,
Job fairs.
oh yeah,
Hillsborough did one, small one. Example might be City of Salina on a radio station we listen to, lists a job opportunity every morning on the radio. Channel 12 does several every morning for the city of Wichita and different businesses. Not that we have a radio station or TV station, but if we list that some way, somehow, and any way to keep that update, of course, then our businesses are gonna have to take that time to submit it as well. And
okay,
even on a job fair, if they just have a sheet of their opportunities that could just be sitting there for somebody to see if we host a job fair. But we never got to further that
Any-
years ago.
any other opportunities, new opportunities to explore? So far I have, technology, training on maintenance of equipment and training on road maintenance, consider future costs of ideas, look for low, maintenance for future, recruit industries, job growth, promotion and PR, consider KNRC, professional management, collaboration for cost savings, educate public about projects and countywide unity, wind, battery, pipelines. And then I put job growth, and I put specifically service jobs because you had mentioned that. Expanded VOTEC training, possible college in the county, review impediments to building and expansion. That would both be residential and business. Excuse me. I've got more, I just wanna put that. Public involvement in road planning, townships, more efficient methods, materials, et cetera, departmental planning, staff level needs, cross-training, multi-departmental recruiting tools, sign-on bonuses, employment opportunities, site, and 2 job fairs.
Be a start of something to consider.
Anybody have more?
Got one line, no,
Oh, okay.
you got one line left.
So
Well, I've got lots of pages.
this came up the other day, so, non-conventional building opportunities.
Okay.
So that one
Non-conventional.
convention, that permit was, whether it was $750 or what, it's non-conventional. You know. A lot of times people want to shut that down rather than, let's hear it out, let's see it, give me a drawing.
Okay. I put that under review impediments to building and expansion. What else? Anything else? Let me put that on down the,
That way,
yeah, thank you.
I'll just stick it on the can, right on. Ooh.
How we doing?
You wanna go ahead and jump to the next one?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. So what is Marion County willing to invest time, talent, and resources in? You guys want to take time to write, or you want to, yeah,
Most of mine are the same. Tech training. Low budget, low maintenance.
Retain our youth.
Recruit industries. Job growth.
okay, so maybe what we should do is on the new, new things to consider or to explore. Do we want to put a mark on those that we are willing to spend money or time on? Or are there other things or projects or things that we need a separate list for?
Well, the leadership training's utmost important. We're funding that.
Yeah, that's actually coming through the community foundation, but through the county, so we're not really funding it.
Facilitating it.
We're facilitating it, and so that is good though. Time, talent, resources.
So if we're investing our time to do that, that's what we're doing this.
Okay, so leadership training. Okay. What else?
The county participating in VOTEC scholarships.
Not as a county.
Okay.
And
We
then,
talked about it, but
Yeah, VOTEC in general, I would be all for investing whatever that looks like, whether it's scholarship or it's
so we also have to look at, this is the time that it's good to put it down. And then later we have to realize and narrow down what is an appropriate government function, what we use our tax dollars for versus, so that's all good. I'm gonna put everything down. So, VOTEC, all aspects,
yeah, just VOTEC.
okay. What else? And I will put scholarships as a secondary, because that might be something to consider for not just VOTEC, but in general, you know?
we could do EMS.
Yeah.
So we are doing quite a few of those kind of build your own type of agreements where we're sending people to school for certain things with an agreement that they work for us for at least 2 years. So we're doing that with to some degree with CDLs, with EMS. So those are ways that we can get some return on that.
I'd like to see an expanded apprenticeship program.
Okay,
I don't know what that would look like, but there's so many kids that, you know, even when they're like juniors in high school, they don't have a clue. You know, what should I go into if they could apprentice more or shadow, I guess, be more like.
okay,
There's lots of things in the courthouse. Technology now, people don't know about.
High school kid comes right in and shows you how to do it.
we have been doing some of that, but you're talking about an expanded, more formalized.
Expanded more, you know, with
And more
the-
publicized probably.
especially with the larger employers in our county.
Okay. So not just within the county organization.
No.
So, but how would we have
That's,
jurisdiction over
that was my question, but how do we collaborate with them? And
Okay,
whether we could, utilize some kind of funding to help with that.
You go back to Mike's point, basically, you know, the jobs, the availabilities, all put in one place.
I mean,
You would be able to help facilitate.
the school contacts us all the time.
Yeah. I don't get that. I can't really take a high school kid out of state, so.
I do have something to talk to you about later, Jonah. I have an idea about something.
I would like to explore sign-on bonuses if there's any way of implementing that into our job hirings, even on the county level.
Do a government.
Then we'd have to implement a way to budget for that.
So I'm also, okay, on the time, resources, and talent, what the county is willing to or wanting to put what we're willing to put our time, resources, and talent into. So, I mean, this is brainstorming still, but also I would think that to actually stay on this list, we can put everything on the list right now, but actually to stay on this list, there's gonna need to be more support than just one individual. You know what I mean? So, because this would be what we use to further narrow down a scope of what we want to look for, what the board wants to prioritize in the future. So for right now, I'm going to write down every idea, but at some point at the next session, we would have to take this list and
As what the whole group would consider.
right, and
or
each
the
thing would have to have a
majority of
consensus
it.
to be something that would be on the list of actual things to break down as far as steps. Does that sound reasonable?
Yeah, that's to me.
It'll
Okay.
get broke down to priorities, and then the highest priorities will stay on the list and the other ones fall off.
Okay, all right. So I just want to, make sure that everybody understands that any of these things that I'm gonna put on here it's okay if just it's one person's idea right now.
Subject to ultimate review by everybody.
Right, exactly. All right, what else do we have? What are we willing to put
Infrastructure.
okay?
Infrastructure doesn't leave you. But that investment stays.
So let's talk about infrastructure. Are there specific types that we need to,
Most of mine in my mind are improvements on road, but then there's also, we've got water getting ready to become a thing. We've got a bunch of aging pipes and areas that are struggling to keep enough water. So we're gonna have to see about integrating water to those other outer reaches.
what about emergency communications signal? Is that something that you're willing to, interested in putting time or money into? Is that a concern? I mean, I'm only asking because it's been mentioned to me several
Are you
times.
talking about the radio situation or?
Radio and cell.
Okay, it's not really, I mean, it is right now, but I think it's a waste to spend the money when there's it's going to the cell, it's going to the Starlink, it's going to go there. And if you invest in all this infrastructure.
Is it a waste?
Yeah.
Is there a proper time to?
I know it's an immediate fix need, but
We need to wait 5 years maybe.
Or broadband or any of that, like internet, like I don't know what you wanna
Yeah.
consider under infrastructure,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
all I'm asking.
always, we do that already, but yeah, to keep the rural development going with the high speed. That's a huge infrastructure thing, that's a public-private partnership.
So infrastructure, right now I have roads, water and water systems, internet,
Broadband, yeah.
As long as they don't charge us for having to move the line, that we won't charge them to be in.
The other infrastructure thing is our county facilities.
okay?
We need to take a hard look at what we've got, what we need, and where we're going with that, how we're utilizing our existing space.
Okay. So I put facilities, as a separate thing other than infrastructure.
Well, it's infrastructure to me, but, facilities planning.
Okay,
Then we can talk about new employees till we're blue in the face. That all costs additional money to expand our government, at a time when I think we need to be decreasing our government. But we do need to invest our time and resources in training and utilizing our current employees the best way we can. And make sure that our current employees are fully capable of doing their job and doing their job efficiently, effectively, and for the benefit of Marion County.
okay. I put employee training. How would you, is that enough, or do you need me to say something more to summarize that?
I'm gonna piggyback on that one. Throw in their retention, employee retention, because once you train them,
Right.
Cost a lot.
a new employee costs you so much more than an old one to get them back up to that level.
Okay. What else?
Our concern is 2 major bridge projects that basically I have a lot of concerns without our constituents in our area. Trying to either better them or get them replaced in time.
Bridge
So,
infrastructure.
that's infrastructure, so I'm gonna put bridges on here. But on those, what did we have on those other options to explore? Are we, did we put on there, anything about housing, expansion on options to explore? I mean, I know we put about making sure we're not impeding growth.
I mean, it does fit housing, but it was basically not close-minded as far as.
Impediments and.
Okay, so what I have on what the county, should potentially put time, resources, and talent into, or is willing to put time, resources, and talent into, is leadership training, VOTEC aspects, scholarships, apprenticeship programs, shadowing, expansion, collaboration with businesses, sign-on bonus, employee training and retention. Those are all kind of the same area. And then I also have infrastructure, which was roads, high-speed internet, bridges, water systems, and then facilities, space needs, planning, by department. And so then, and as a county, so then there's 2 major areas. So the basic infrastructure for everything, and then our own facilities, needs, and planning. Are there any other areas besides those kind of 2 major areas that you are thinking that we're willing to invest time, talent, and resources in?
Generally, recruitment, whether that's a recruitment of business or skilled people or whatever. And then another general one would be job growth. And then fill those buckets however you see fit, but those bullet points.
that we need to talk about. So much, especially in our roads, strategic roads, so much of that is dictated on cost share grants and all that. You know, investing in people that can facilitate all that paperwork and administration that goes along with that. Because we're so dependent on it.
Grant writers.
Grant writing. We just don't have very much of that in Marion County.
I think you have people with a skill set, it's whether they have the time to do it. So, you'd almost have to have something focused in that area.
It'd have to be focused.
Own department. Keep that time.
Is that where we bring back up the economic development position?
You can bring up anything you want, Mike. Everything hits the board, and then.
I mean, is some of this related to that possibly?
This session here is throw everything at the freaking wall, and we'll see what sticks next time. I'm sure
Anybody have anything else? Is everybody kind of?
I think it's getting lunchtime.
Yeah, I think it might be. Usually you wanna take a break like about every hour, so. Anything else that you wanna put on this, this list right now?
Investing in best time, resource. I'm going to a blank now.
Okay, that's all right.
Give her lots of stuff.
I know there's things I'm forgetting, but
Yeah, that's okay. You guys have, I'm really proud of you, really. Let's see. I'm just looking to see if there's anything on the department head lists.
more fresh ideas.
We covered so much the first time we did it.
I know.
We did a lot.
We had a lot of big infrastructure items that were like damn.
Yeah, so most of these are like specific, several of these mention mental health, of the department, the ideas the department heads put out there of things that would help people to be more effective. But on the, let's think just, before we finish, just for the next 5 minutes or so, about specific projects and needs that we already know of, that we just, that we have talked about before, because we also have, or that are, at the beginning phases,
Digitizing.
okay? So digitization of records.
You have that list for us that weren't involved before now?
I'm sorry,
The list of things that have been discussed before Mark and I got on that we weren't aware of.
Yeah, she emailed that to you.
well, I emailed you the
Planning.
the planning information. I did not make a list of things that are currently in progress or things that we talked about before. That's what I talked about at the beginning of the meeting, and you guys just wanted to jump right in
Yeah.
with this, so. I can put something together before our next planning session if you want me to. But I wanted to make sure that we addressed all of the concerns and ideas that you all have, and then I have things to add to from either things that have come up over time or that have also been discussed by the board in the past.
It doesn't need to be very formal, just in my opinion, just.
What about building needs that we are already aware of?
We've
Or that we've
talked
already-
for years about the multi-use storage building, and of course, we also know Road and Bridge is really in need of a shop that's can be utilized the way it needs to be.
5-year project there. Like the ambulance building in Peabody.
Yes, good.
So one thing you're gonna have to,
Replace the shed, I mean, road bridge, what you call it, shed.
the shop, yeah, the Peabody shop. One thing that, since we do have the property now, we have basically a set amount of time before we need to move our items out of the shop in Peabody. So that's,
Clock is ticking.
we are gonna have to start a planning process on that in the very near future to make progress on that and make some decisions on that.
Does Road and Bridge tell us what they'd like to have,
Well, that'll be part of our process, because we need to not only look at what they would like, but also what we need and what we can afford. That we need it, right, yeah, for sure. They need to be in that process. I think that's what you're getting at, yeah. Okay,
the only thing, there's car garage or one car.
right. We need to know what they need to store, yeah. Okay. What other things, do you remember what we? Whiteboard items.
Yeah, I know.
Well, you've got some big items coming up just for maintenance on the courthouse, you know.
And that is something we've talked about before, and we started trying to budget for.
The City of Marion has that historic deal done now. Can any of our projects get compensated, even though it's tax credits, you can sell them?
We have done it before, like when we did a restoration of the clock tower and different parts of the building, we have applied for and received and sold tax credits in the past, so that is an option on.
What I understood is how that works.
Yeah, we
So
are,
not, basically nonprofit or anywhere, you can apply, you can get them, but then people will buy them tax credits.
so we have done that process before, and that is something that when we look at funding of courthouse projects, for sure, we can look at
So
doing,
something as small as the louvers isn't much of an issue.
right,
Worth applying for, or is, or
no. Probably not, because,
Paperwork.
well, and the fact of that is you have to apply it in advance. You have to have your approvals in place before you start a project on
they
those.
just got that in place here.
So we've done that with our windows. We had some tax credits for the window project, for the clock tower, some different things that we've done, so. What else? Anything else? Okay, I think everybody's, Clark, do you perked up for a sec, did you have something else? I saw a spark
Yeah,
there.
but it left me.
Okay,
We're adjourning, he's happy.
okay.
Looking at,
I will say some of the items, I don't want to give a lot of input right now, but on the options to explore, some of the things that are on that list we are starting to do. And departments have been moving that way, and those are some of the things that I've been trying to focus on as much as I can to get started on within the last year. So some of those things are started in process. So like the staff reviews and the some of those things, the training. All right. I think we might be done for the day,
For the day,
for this.
this, yeah.
just, have we looked at, I know, and I haven't been up to the Donahue factory for a long time, so I don't know, it may not be worth even looking at, but we got Donahue Manufacturing that went out of business.
Did they go out of business or they just closed down?
Well, they're out of business.
They're out of business.
Bank
went
locked the bank locked the gates.
Okay.
Okay,
let's
Okay,
be
yeah,
careful
yeah,
about
all right,
what we're
okay,
saying, but
okay.
what's the question that you're asking?
My question is there a way to look at, rather than building a new building, explore existing opportunities in the
Absolutely,
county?
and the board has done that before, so yes. So
know.
one thing we need to do would be, um,
Location.
build versus
And there's more square foot there than every.
build,
Agreed.
buy, lease. Okay, I'm just gonna put all
Yeah.
these with question marks on them, so we need to always be looking at those cost benefit kind of scenarios with all those options.
And I know just,
Cost benefit analysis.
Cost benefit analysis.
That's Kit's favorite
Yeah.
phrase.
but
Return on assets.
there are opportunities in the county and need to
Yeah.
look at those before.
That's
And
why.
it's important, I think, that when you all become aware of those things, that we talk about them.
I mean, that's just one, I know. Red room, but
Okay.
maybe other opportunities coming up. And I know one opportunity, we're talking about economic growth. We've got some individuals in Peabody, and I can tell you Peabody Sausage House is looking at expanding their operation, partnering with a specialty beef company out of Waukene, and looking at expanding their operations, either in Peabody or in the county right outside of Peabody. So just make you guys aware, they're looking at a significant.
And that's something they're sharing publicly, correct?
Well, they've talked to me about it.
I've
Well,
already,
but
I've
we-
already heard about it too.
If it's coming from a public source, that's fine. So one thing to just keep in mind, if somebody's coming to you with something that might be proprietary or that we need to be careful
They haven't given me
about.
any proprietary. They've asked me for, is this something the county would support? And so I'm bringing it to the board to
Okay,
say that, it's out there. They haven't
signed on the dotted line.
signed on the dotted line there.
As far as public support.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we're pro-business.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
anyway,
okay.
what else?
I think you guys need an hour for lunch.
I make
And
a motion that we adjourn.
And lay down here.
We'll recess until our regular commission meeting.
Yeah, is it okay? Go ahead and adjourn the work
Okay,
session.
We're gonna adjourn the work session.
Second.
So, Kent actually made the motion. Mike second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Okay.
Start with the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Monday, February 24th, 12:30. Public forum. Anybody from the public?
Yes,
Come up, state your name. We could see you,
that's
but
fine. I just thought of this while I was driving up here, so I figured it was important enough to bring up. And this is not a complaint, as some like to refer to it as. Arlene Sticka. Nope, I'm sitting there. I am. Okay. I'll move. That's why I came in early. Out at the county lake, and I know some of you are probably tired of hearing about it because you don't go out there. I have noticed that people have, there's some that, I don't know if they're residents or if they're people that visit residents out there that are using the Lakeshore Drive as a parking spot. Do you know how dangerous that is? And if their vehicle gets damaged because it gets run into, is the county gonna be responsible for that? I brought up the idea in this last summer that it probably wouldn't hurt to have lines marked on the road, but I was told that, oh, it doesn't follow because the roadway isn't like a highway, that's the reason why you can't put any lines on the road. But it probably wouldn't hurt to at least give people the idea that, this is a main drive through here. There's a lot of traffic that comes through here during the summer, and it probably wouldn't hurt to consider doing something to make it a safer road. I know you can't expand it because of the lake or water being on both sides, but it might be something you might want to give a thought to. People that live out there, if they can't provide their own driveway, why are they using the county road as a driveway? And that's all I have to say. And that is not a complaint.
That is not a complaint.
That's an observation.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else?
Yeah.
State your name.
Tom Britton, Britain. For the record, well, it was misspelled last time. I was brainstorming with these guys here this morning, and one of the discussions was about more public input, but we weren't allowed to speak. But I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm going to speak about the custodian contract and the buildings that we've had, and the more expense to that. We used to have an underpaid custodian here. They should have been paid a whole lot more, and they took care of the courthouse and the old jail and the Boron building. And so now they sent the health department to the hospital, which is somewhat understandable. And then they moved the zoning department across the street here, and they leased this building for a while and then eventually bought it. And now it looks like it's a parking lot. I guess he made it into a parking lot. And then that building up on the highway, they bought it for the health department, I believe, and then I guess that was a mistake, and so then we put zoning and zoning and road and bridge up there, and so the custodial part of it, the city gave this Boron building, always kind of got me. They gave it to the city, and really the only thing wrong was the AC went out, the air conditioning went out. But anyways, so the custodial contract, I'm looking at the January 8th, 2025 minutes. Custodial contract for 2025 was reviewed. The proposed overall annual amount will increase from 10% to, which is, they got all the numbers, blah, 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 blah. With a change of the scope of the health department due to the new building, the amount will increase from $605 a month to $1,591 a month. And so did the county not take bids on this? And they didn't take a bids on this custodial contract?
I'm sorry, it's public comment, so do you want me to be
No.
responsive? Or
You know,
what would
so you're
you-
gonna write me a letter and come back next week?
I'm just
I'm
asking.
gonna tell you we did,
Okay.
the first go around, with iServe and this one, the other one was provided bids. But yeah, it is public comment, not public question.
Well, I got that, so I gotta, you're writing me a letter and then I can come back later and we can read it.
Well, I mean, I'm fine with responding if that's
Well,
what
that'd be
the board
great if you
wants.
would. I mean, we got
It's
different-
up to the
Yeah.
commission.
Thank you, Jonah.
The 3 minutes are up, but yeah, go ahead and respond.
And basically you did.
Okay.
So we did take bids for the custodial contract with the option of renewing and negotiating after the first.
It was a short term,
It was a very short term.
so we had to do an actual term.
Right.
So you did,
So, yes, but we did go through that whole process. We did an RFP.
now, is it out of county,
No,
it's not, who,
it's an in-county provider.
okay, I guess for now.
The competition was out of county.
Right, well, that's what I meant, they don't have it?
No, we didn't give it to them.
Alrighty then, well, I have more, but I guess I'm out of time. We'll try her again next week, thanks.
Anybody else? All right, moving on to administrative.
Okay. The minutes of February 18.
Everybody had a chance to review the minutes? Any questions or corrections? If not, make a motion to approve.
I'll second
Second by Dave. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 5-0.
The only other thing I have is I received an email from Tracy Barton from KNRC, and she just wants to know if you guys are interested in participating.
I'm interested. Clark wasn't here for it, so I don't know. If nobody else is interested, we might as well tell them.
I can't remember what was their annual,
5,000.
5,000.
I say, I would be interested in it, I just don't know, what their
Federal
Providing.
policies and resolutions and stuff like that for, making sure we maintain a home rule, when it comes to the feds. Basically, breaks down. They do a lot more than that, but
it. It's the Kansas Association.
That was the Kansas National Resource
Coalition.
Coalition. They sent some information. I can resend that back out
okay.
if you wanna table it.
I mean, I think the information she provided was good, and there's benefit there. I question the cost.
That's my concern too, is, are we getting, what are we getting for that cost? And is it actually,
Is there different levels?
No.
Okay. But
there is, they do provide also additional training and things, so I'm not trying to sell it.
yeah.
But they,
I would recommend we table it until we get into budget discussions later this year, and if we can work it into our budget without, if we can find savings elsewhere in the budget to cover that, and we get some value out of it, then we look at it at that time.
is anybody a hard no? Hard no?
I'd like her, before we would consider it, I'd like for her to address, do a cost analysis,
Yeah.
and for that $5,000, what are we gonna get out of it?
I'm good with that too.
Yeah,
I mean, I can't, obviously I can't sell it to you, but I know their value, so.
Mine is a no based on the presentation. Unless they can change my mind.
So we still have enough interest to let them know that we're thinking about it, have to evaluate it later.
Sounds like a plan.
And if they can wanna turn a no into a yes, they can come back and try to resell it to Mike.
Can you respond to that? You're gonna respond. Will you copy me on your response, please? Thank you.
And that's all I have.
So I do have a a utility permit, and it's on the new form, the insurance certificate and all the map and everything is here. They did pay the fee, the $100 fee. So I guess my question is, on this new permit, do you want to continue to approve these as a board? Do you want administrative approval and then me to provide information to you? We may have to, like we do with fuel or whatever, just kind of let me know what your preference is. If the board wants to continue to approve in this kind of a setting, that's fine. We probably are gonna have to adjust the form a little bit because we didn't leave space for you. So,
I'm okay with administrative, and if it's any reason why it would be denied, you know, then.
this particular one is for Next Tech, I believe.
Yeah. As long as they're maintaining their burial depths and they're staying out of the basement, and maybe give them sign a waiver that if they have to move their line, they can't make us pay for it.
That's from Next Tech.
This is, I'm sure that's on that broadband that they're good putting in. Is that on 56?
The map is in there.
Hopefully there's someplace in there.
130th. 130th, way south.
Coming out, just a mile north of Gossel.
Okay.
And,
I didn't know they were going down that direction.
Well, toward McPherson, I think, aren't they?
the Mound Ridge telephone's over there, so they can't be going too far.
Yeah.
Too many of them.
Everybody all right with making it administrative,
Yes.
speeding up the process? And then if there is a reason that administrative wants to deny it, that gets brought to us.
Works for me.
Want to make a motion?
You want a motion?
I don't know that we necessarily need a motion as long as we have a
Staff directive.
consensus and a directive.
Yeah.
I just wanna make sure that we do have that.
You got a consensus.
I do agree, it'd probably expedite things a little more.
Yeah, they're having to wait right now,
Yeah.
because of the timing of everything in the meetings and.
We were talking about this morning about speeding speeding things up,
There you go.
already accomplishing goals without it.
Okay. I did have a report in the packet, some of the things I talked to you about last week, but I didn't I also use this report not just for you, but also to put information out to the public, so I wanted to make sure that I had that on, available to the public as well, so. One thing I did wanna ask about is the open house or the ribbon cutting for the health department. You had tentatively said March 17th. Are you thinking that you're wanting department, like tours of the building at that time, or just the ribbon cutting and little reception? Krista mentioned that if you want like full-fledged tours and more of an organized kind of event, that she might like to do a little bit later after they've had a chance to
Get settled.
get the feel of the building and make sure that they're settled in. So I didn't know what you were
You're
thinking.
on the building committee, so I let you guys work it out.
We had an open house for government officials.
Well, I mean, I don't- Yeah, so I guess what she was saying is if you want staff to be able to take people through on tours of the facility, or, or if you just wanna do a ribbon cutting out front.
Wait till the 1st of April, do a full-fledged public inspection or?
Yeah, is that,
Fine with me.
Everybody all right with that?
okay.
Chris to pick.
You wanna try to do it on a Monday, on a regular commission day?
Yeah, that works best for me.
Okay. Or possibly on, let's see. I mean, like, I wonder about on the 31st, instead of waiting until the first week of April, if we did it March 31st. That is a payday meeting, so it'd be a morning meeting, we could just do it after the meeting. And it's like maybe 1 week earlier than what she had mentioned.
That works.
Okay, I'll check with her and make sure that that works with her schedule and that she'll be around. Otherwise, we'll look at an early April date. And I didn't have anything else.
Brad wasn't gonna be here, right?
Brad is, last I heard, he would possibly not be here, so it looks like he's not.
All right. This is short and sweet.
I don't know if there's any outside board reports.
Yeah. I have a KAC meeting Wednesday, so I don't have any outside board report.
I've got a scheduled meeting.
I've got a CDGO meeting tonight, so.
We've got 8th judicial sometime here later this week, Thursday maybe.
Yeah, so I don't have anything to report.
Prairie View's just once a
I
quarter.
did represent the board at the Soil Conservation Awards on Saturday night. Had a nice, some good nice awards and door prizes. And I will inform you though that part of the staff at Soil Conservation are federal employees. They're on layoff right now. I don't know that exact number.
Matt said it was 2 people.
Yeah, I heard those two.
Well, I mean, I don't know what it means anymore, you know.
All right. Yeah. Commission comments.
Guess I'd like to give a thumbs up and attaboy for everybody in the Pilsen community that put on their charity benefit auction last Saturday. I was hoping to get a response on the total dollars. But the number that was thrown out was the live auction itself brought over 31,000. And there's a lot of people went to a lot of effort to get that put together. Just want to thank them for all their efforts because some of our charities within our county, they give too, and it's pretty good deals.
Who administers those funds?
That I'm not 100% sure.
It's charity, do you know?
The super particulars, I'm not sure of. It's the first time I'd ever attended it. So. I think everybody was kind of cooped up from having their kids at home for 2 or 3 days and cooped up with the weather, and it was a really nice evening. A very large crowd. And we're assuming between the meal and the silent auction is way on top of 40 grand total. So. Pretty good deal for what they do, I think, for what I've been told they give to.
I did attend the fundraiser for the Tri-County Fair. That was interesting. They had a 2-day polka dance, Friday and Saturday. I mean, there was a lot of people too.
Anything else? Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second by Kent. All those in favor?
Aye.
5-0. We are adjourned.